Hey everyone, my name's Melissa Strange and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. Today we're going to be talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 2 episode number 4, also known as the Shequel. And I'm going to start by saying that this episode literally took me on a roller coaster. I promised you that I was smiling and laughing in the part of it, and literally shaking and crying in the other part of it. It was a very emotional episode, and let's get right into it. So this episode starts off with the after Ginger Minge elimination, and all the queens are looking to Alyssa for answers because she has just gone against the pact that they had all agreed on, and she basically says that the reason why she evicted Ginger over Katya is that she took into account the consistency that Katya has played this game so far versus Ginger, and that Katya has been on top more and done better, where Ginger has kind of played it safe and been safe every week. And so that's why she went with her decision. And a lot of the queens aren't agreeing with her, and Detox reveals that had she have won the lip sync, she would have sent Katya home, and Katya's like, well, I'm here. Then we move on to the next day in the workroom. When the queens come in, they see that a letter is left on one of the tables, and it is from Ginger, and she says, play a fair game and be proud of your choices. And now again, this brings up all the queens talking to Alyssa about how they feel like she made the wrong choice, and a lot of them are pretty angry about it. In my head, I'm still thinking, like, if it would have benefited them, would they have been so angry had Alyssa chosen to save them? If this was Fifi at the bottom and Alyssa chose to save Fifi, I guarantee you Fifi would not be complaining. She would be grateful. And that's kind of what happens when they ask Katya how she feels. Katya's like, look, Alyssa's happy with her decision. I'm happy to be here. Let's start a new day. And then Ru comes into the workroom, and I'm pretty sure this season has like no mini challenges. There's only been the first one in the first episode, and now I'm like, I guess there's no mini challenges because Ru already comes in and announces the maxi challenge. I guess these challenges are so big and they're so intense and there's so much happening because it's All-Stars that there's not really time for mini challenges. This week's maxi challenge, the queens are going to be in pairs acting to sequels of some of Ru's favorite movies. So Fifi and Roxy are paired up to do Show Squirrels. Katya and Detox pair up and are doing Velma and Wheezy. And Alyssa and Alaska pair up to do What Happened to Baby JJ. And I'm sitting there like, oh, here we go. Alaska and Alyssa in a duo. I am ready to see this happen. I'm wearing an Alaska shirt today. Y'all know how much I love Alaska. Whew. So each pair of the queens go in to do their filming, and honestly, the editing or whatever shows that one of each of the pairs kind of does a little bit worse than the others. But some key moments to point out, it was when Roxy has another sequence moment. Oh my goodness. She wants her shaw. She wants her shaw now. And Michelle is like, your what? Your sash? It's a sash, not a shaw. And then at Roxy's face when she's like, oh no, is it another sequin moment? I couldn't, because that was one of my favorite moments of season 5, was when Roxy literally thought it was one sequin is a sequin is a sequin, but a sequenced gown is more than one sequin. Sequenced gown? Oh, I can't even remember now. But, oh, the whole sequence of what has happened with her and her English and these silly words that she has problems with is amazing. And when it's time for the runway, Ru ain't no panther on the runway this week. She is a white tiger fish. And I'm like, okay, Ru, serving up this half and half animal print realness. And then she says, oh, this week is a 2-in-1 Violet Chachki inspired runway. And she was talking about the dress that Violet wore, where she has the tartan and I think it was black, and it flips in and out. Anyways, I actually got to see her do that live because she wears that dress at the Battle of the Seasons tour, and I went to it and I watched her do that, and I was just like, oh, it was almost as good as the first time. Actually, it was just as good as the first time because I didn't even know that was what was going on when she came out and did the reveal thing. So I was excited to see what these queens were gonna bring, and I was not disappointed. Fifi came out first and I thought she was great. Roxy came out, I thought she was great. I'm like, okay, they're bringing it. Their outfits are transforming into something else. They're clearly going from one thing to another. It's working. Then Katya comes out and pulls this demon thing. I'm like, oh, here we go. Hilarious. I automatically start laughing because I was not expecting that. Then Detox comes out, does her reveal, walks a little bit more, does another reveal, and I'm like, of course Detox takes it from a 2-in-1 to a 3-in-1 because Detox has got to do it all, and it was fabulous. Then, lights, camera, action, Alyssa comes out in this friggin', how much do you think that dress weighed? Because that's all I was thinking, is that dress had to have weighed so much, cost so much. Were those real cameras? Were those real lights? What was going on there? How many cameras were on her and lights? And Ginger last week with her light up dress? Girl, no. Alyssa's light up dress, that's how you do a light up dress. And then Alaska came out and I'm like, what is she doing? Her whole head is covered. When she revealed Lil Pound Cake, I swear to you, I screamed. The hairs are standing up on my arms, I have goosebumps. I screamed in excitement, in horror, in sheer joy and happiness as a fan to see that Alaska took that creation her and Lanesha made and turned it into a real thing. I don't know if she's done it before. I haven't seen her do it. Maybe she has done it before, but let me tell you, incredible. Was not expecting that, and I can't deal with this. It was so amazing. It was my favorite runway look out of all of them because it was so unexpected and so brilliant, and just, it was perfect. When it's time to watch all the Shequels, I am so excited, and every one of them did really well. I think it was very clear that there was a little bit of a weaker link in every group, and in the first one out of Fifi and Roxy, Fifi did really well and Roxy didn't do as well. And then when it came to Detox and Katya, it really felt like Detox was carrying it for more than half of it, and then Katya stepped in, and I mean, it still worked. And then Alaska and Alyssa, I love Alyssa, but I felt like her performance wasn't that great. I wanted to laugh more with the two of them. I thought I would be laughing more, but I felt like I was kind of just staring at the computer screen being like, what is going on? Some of it went over my head, but that's my own fault. And the other part of it was kind of like weak, and I was kind of sad about it, but I still thought Alaska did really well. It was more like their dynamic together didn't work as well as I was hoping it was, I guess. I was really excited that they were going to be paired up together, so I felt a little disappointed with the performance overall. They were all still really good though. This is All-Stars, Final 6, and they're all killing it. The judges' critique was basically that they loved everybody's everything, and that was about it. Like, I mean, it's All-Stars and it's really hard for them to judge. The people that did get the harshest critiques that we saw was Roxy, Alyssa, and really that was it. Maybe a little bit of Katya, but like nobody was really that bad. Realistically, the people that were bad probably would have ended up safe had this been a normal season, right? So safe isn't good enough when it comes to All-Stars. You have to be the best, right? So Ru announces that Fifi and Alaska are in the top 2, and I'm like, yeah, Alaska, do you think Alaska? Yeah, Alaska, do you think Alaska? Put on the shirt right away. I was like, Alaska, here we go, girl. Bring home another one. Be the first queen in All-Stars 2 to win 2 main challenges, to win 2 lip syncs, to do this thing and teach the children. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what I'm saying. I just went off on a tangent there. My apologies, people. Ru then announces that Detox is safe and that Roxy, Katya, and Alyssa are in the bottom 3. So while the judges make prank calls on the runway, they've lost their minds. The girls are backstage deliberating on who should go home. And Alaska pulls each queen aside to do a one-on-one with them, but Fifi's all like, no, I don't need that. I have my mind made up already. And I'm like, girl, she's gonna send home Alyssa. The two of them have kind of been beefing for the past couple episodes. You could just tell that Fifi was ready to take any opportunity she could to get rid of Alyssa, especially because last week Alyssa didn't like go with the group and follow the rules. And then Alyssa says to Alaska, look, Katya and Roxy have both been in the bottom 2 twice. This is my first time. I've actually done really good at every competition. Maybe I haven't been in the top every time, just the one time last week, but she wasn't lying. Alyssa has really been in the top the past few weeks. And so she's saying, that's my argument. I've been in the top. I've had a consistent game. This is the first time I'm down. Out of 4 weeks, 2 of the weeks, both of those queens were in the bottom, you know? And Katya's like, I'm not ready to go. I don't think I was horrible, but I don't think I was great. And Roxy's basically pulling the same thing. Then we go to the main stage, Lil Pound Cake and Fifi lip sync because I can't. This whole thing just had me laughing. The second she walked out, I had laughter pretty much until what happens next. So Alaska wins, and I'm like fist pumping in the air. I'm like, Alaska, I don't know who she's gonna send home, but she won, and I'm happy for her because that's my favorite queen. So I gotta support anything pretty much that Alaska's gonna decide. But then I'm like, oh shit, I think Alaska's gonna send home Alyssa. This is the thing, those queens kind of attacked Alyssa a little bit for going against the whole plan that they had to send which queen home that did the worst that week. And I think if you look at it, Alaska never commented this whole time about it. I think she probably agreed with Alyssa's decision from last week and felt bad about it, because when she wins the lip sync and reveals that she's sending Alyssa home, she starts crying automatically. Do I think Katya should have been sent home? No. Do I think Roxy should have been sent home? Out of the three of them, it was definitely a coin toss between Roxy and Alyssa for me. And I personally think Roxy should have gone home. I would love to know what y'all think, so let me know in the comments down below. But I don't know, it was very, you know what I mean? Like, it was so, Alyssa's done really well so far. I wasn't really ready to see her go. Usually the episode of RuPaul's Drag Race ends with the queens dancing, and it's been ending with the eliminated queen finding out that there's a revenge thing going to happen. But this time they all go into the workroom and start discussing what happened, and Fifi reveals she would have sent home Alyssa, and I'm like, what is going on? Something's about to happen, and the queen's gonna walk in, and then mirror, mirror on the wall, I see them all, I see them all the eliminated queens are there, and I'm like, what is going on? Did they just hear Fifi literally shit talk Alyssa? Because she was shit talking her. She was basically saying that she's not as good as everybody else in her own Fifi way, which I don't really know what Fifi's trying to do. I am so looking forward to next week's episode of what happens, because I think that all of the eliminated queens just heard Fifi talking bad about Alyssa, and I am dying to find out more. But let me know in the comments down below if you agree that Alyssa should have gone home tonight. Honestly, it made me cry, because A, Alaska was really upset, but B, I really didn't, like, out of the bottom three, it would only be Roxy that I want to go. Mind you, my dream team, like, fantasy football league style of RuPaul's Drag Race, out of this All-Stars cast, my top three would be, like, Alaska, Katya, and Alyssa. This is actually the first time in All-Stars that one of the queens who was sent home is actually one of my favorites, and it was very hard to watch, and I hope I never have to watch Alaska go home, because I will not take it very well. I'm even tearing up thinking about having to see Alaska go home and having to watch an episode of a season that she's supposed to be on without her on it, and that's because she's gonna win. She's gonna win. I am not concerned. Alaska is fine, she's gonna win. I like to end these videos with reading a comment of what one of you posted on my last week's video. Here's the thing, I couldn't just pick one. Literally all of you kind of had very similar things to say about the episode. Most part of everyone was pro Katya staying because they all felt like doing Princess Diana was a really hard character, and I agree. I think if any one of them had to do that, they'd be in a really tough position. And so that alone, like the critiques that she got based on the performance that she did, the performance that was choreographed, that they didn't really have much say in what they did. Like they all did what they could with the choreography and everything, and I think her choreography was good, but I don't think it looked like she was making mistakes. It just maybe wasn't as amazing as the others, and a lot of you seem to agree with that, so that's really cool. So make sure you leave a comment down below, and I'm gonna pick one of you next week and talk about your comment and respond and all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode, because there's gonna be one, because next week there's gonna be some type of revenge happening, and I can't wait. Now I'm gonna go rewatch this episode 5 or 6 more times until my eyes bleed, because I've been staring at Lil Pound Cake so much. Once again, everyone, my name is Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.